Greetings to you from wherever you're watching us today. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of Sports Tonight. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, as usual, in the world of sports, a lot of talking points tonight. We'll do our best to give you all that is happening in your amazing world of sports. Let me attempt a quick rundown of what to expect on the show tonight. Worrying signals from Japan, host of the next edition of the Olympics. We'll talk about that today. Talking about situation as it relates to COVID-19. We'll do that for you. We'll start what we did last year, talking about all the sports, how they performed in 2020. And in 2021, we'll try to look at what to expect. And we have someone who occupies a unique position in handball. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag just yet. He occupies a unique position. And we're going to be talking to him, and he will tell us the direction that the Federation will go. We'll do that all for you. As we go on, we'll talk about football on the domestic scene. We'll also talk about Anthony Joshua on the show today. What's happening to Anthony Joshua? You need to find out. Just stay with us, stick with us. We'll tell you all that is happening. All right, so let's bring you into all that we're doing on the show. We've always told you how important you are to us on the show. It's always a privilege knowing that you're there watching what we do. It's a privilege we're not going to take for granted. Be with us tonight, Sports Tonight at channelstv.com. That's how you can send a mail across to us. On Facebook, if that's your thing, channels-sports. Then on Twitter, at channels_sports. Let's know how you feel about all the things happening in your amazing, entertaining, fun-filled, and money-spinning world of sports. Let me quickly introduce my partner. He starts the show with me tonight. Bolu Omoni joins me. We're going to be handling this cruise, and hopefully we'll dock safely at the end of it. Bolu, thanks for joining us tonight.
Good to be here again. After watching a beautiful, well, should I say one-sided football yesterday, now we are going to have the same final. Everybody or many punters have been expecting Jose versus Pep. Not even all about the club now. But after enjoying the good news and the sad news of what's happening in Japan, we just hope it doesn't affect the Olympic Games.
And that's where we're starting from tonight. Let's quickly tell you what's happening in Japan. Worrying signal that we're getting from the organizers of the 2020 Olympics, even though it's going to be held in 2021. Japan has declared a 1-month state of emergency for Tokyo and 3 nearby prefectures following a dramatic rise in coronavirus cases. Decision comes just 6 months before the postponed Olympics Games are due to get underway. Tokyo has seen record daily cases for 2 straight days, and there are now concerns about the new strain, which appears to be far more transmissible. The state of emergency will run from January the 8th to February 7th in Tokyo and Saitama and Kanagawa and the Chiba prefectures, covering about 30% of the country's population. All right, this is not what I wanted to be reading about early in the year, because a lot of us thought, straight away we'll be talking about how smooth it will be for us. But quick response on that one, Bolu.
Well, the truth is, it looks like 2020 is too much already. Too many strange news at the start of the year and everything. And now I thought what we'll be thinking of is, like Nigeria is saying, we're preparing ahead for the Olympic Games. We're going for 11 sports. We thought that's what everyone will be thinking across. Okay, yeah, especially for sports that are not. Football is just, let's just play at the Olympic. Football is not something. But for other sports, we're thinking of, oh, let's get ready. Some countries will tell you they are 50% ready, they are 30% ready. What I thought we'll be thinking of now is maybe brands. How will the plan look like? We're going to have fans watch the Olympic Games, the Olympic Village, everything. But now, unfortunately, we are talking about the state or the country to host the Olympic Games going on lockdown, kind of. I think it's sad, but I hope they come out good. I hope they come out fine. February 7 look very far, but at the same time, it's very, very close. In 30 days, a month is over, and I hope we'll get to hear good news from them. And like we discussed over, I think even athletes, everyone should take responsibility. Sort of, it looks more like not just in Nigeria. Everyone is like coronavirus is more like scam in quotes.
Sort of laxity.
Yeah, it could be, but at the same time, it is real. It's out there. people will ask you, do you know anyone that died? I told them, you don't have to know someone that died. The world population is over 7 billion.
It's better imagine the experience, by the way.
Yeah.
So we should not afford to, we can't afford to be reckless, especially if we want 2021 to be smoother than 2020. And this coming from Japan is real scary because, like Bolu has said, 2020 was disrupted in every sense of the word, and we're hoping 2021 will not follow suit. All right, so let's move on the show. We have to start with that because that's the biggest sporting event in 2021, and we're already seeing worrying signals. All right, let's come home now. Let's come home and talk about handball in Nigeria. I told you earlier that we're lucky to have somebody that occupies a unique position in handball who will be able to tell us what's going on, what has happened, what they will be doing, and what he expects to happen. All right, so joining us on the show tonight, Handball Federation of Nigeria President Samuel Ocheo is joining us, and we'll be talking about a whole lot of things. But first, I want to say thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Thank you very much, everyone. I'm glad to be joining you tonight from the comfort of my home. At least it shows that technology is working and we don't need to be traveling along the road all the time anymore.
All right, yeah, that's good to hear. All right, so let's just talk about handball in Nigeria. And there's no way we can, chart a way forward without starting by talking of what happened in the past. So 2020, let's talk about 2020. We've given your federation a lot of credit for being the first federation to come out of the lockdown straight away with an event. But even at that, 2020 was severely affected by COVID-19. So what was the experience like for you leading a federation, a sporting federation in 2020 with all of the issues that you had to deal with?
Well, first of all, I would like to say 2020 was excellent for the Handball Federation of Nigeria. We would have loved to do more, but unfortunately, because of COVID-19, we could not organize all our programs. But if you recall, luckily for us, at the very beginning of the year in 2020, the national team, senior men's national team, was able to go to Tunisia for the African Cup of Nations. And in February/March, we were also lucky to have organized the under 12 and under 15 championship in Sokoto State. And after that championship was the lockdown. So from March to October, we could not do anything. But immediately after the lockdown, we were also lucky to have worked with the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sport, and we got the Prudent Energy Handball League also sorted out immediately after the lockdown. So in as much as 2020 came up with its challenges, I think for our federation, we were lucky. We did very well. So it was excellent for us. The handballers themselves had opportunities to showcase their skills.
All right, so let's just talk about this year. What should handball lovers, what should they expect from the federation? This is hoping that 2021 will not be severely affected like 2020. I'm very sure you are working on that assumption. So based on that assumption, what should people be expecting in terms of an outlook of the activities of the federation in 2021?
Yeah, towards the close of 2020, the Handball Federation of Nigeria sent out its programs for 2021. We're operating under the assumption that 2021 will be normal and things will go on well. So we had already started planning and we already sent out our programs. We had expected that then when we sent out the program, we had expected that the National Sport Festival would be happening in January. But you and I know that it's been postponed to February. And so that is going to affect our Division 1 program that was meant to hold in February. We now need to look for new dates. But our first major program, aside the coaching and the refereeing program that was also slated for February, would be the under-18 and under-21 championship that is slated for March in Kwara State. We're still in discussion with the government, and we hope that will become a reality. But again, I think the major challenge is the second wave of the COVID-19 that is going around. It's coming up. I mean, the numbers are staggering. We just hope that this is sorted fast. We hope that with the vaccine that is found in the developed countries. We hope this will be sorted fast and life will go back to normal. The prayer and hope is that things return to normal so that handballers and handball stakeholders can continue with their handballing life. But the truth is, it's safety first. So we'll observe what the situation looks like, and we'll also respect whatever the government comes out with as regard sporting activities. But otherwise, we've already made our plans and we'll work towards achieving our plans.
All right, let's talk about grassroots. Let's go to grassroots and talk about what is happening. I must give you credit. I must give your federation credit. We hear you talk a lot about under 15s, under 18s, under 12. As somebody who occupies a unique position, like I said, in terms of growth, I mean, you have all the indices at your disposal. In terms of growth, do you think handball is gradually catching up? Should I use the word catch up? Do you think handball, that people are beginning to take to handball in Nigeria as they should, or you think there's still a lot of work to be done, especially with the young ones?
Well, our plan is to remain focused. Our plan is to maintain our lane. We're not going to start comparing ourselves with other federations right now. We just want to keep doing the right thing. We want to keep going back to schools. We want to keep organizing the underage programs. For us, those are the most important things that we must do right now to begin to develop and identify new talents. We believe that with the population of Nigeria, there are so many talents out there. Hence, we've encouraged our coaches, our ex-players to all start going to local government, go to schools, and start developing handball teams. Prior to when we came on board, it was only state teams that used to attend our under 12, under 15, or underage programs. But we've opened it to academies. We've opened it to anybody who can come up with a team. And I think that has encouraged a lot of ex-players who can now see them coming up with teams in different parts of the country. And with that, very soon, our activities will begin to we'll begin to see harvest. I think this is still seed time. We're still planting, we're still watering, we're still doing as much as we can do. But very soon, I believe that we'll begin to harvest all the efforts we're putting in.
All right, we're wishing that it turns out that way. What are the things that you would love to see that will aid the growth of the game in Nigeria, that will assist you with the programs that you've already rolled out, the programs that you already have? When I talk about things that could assist, maybe in terms of school system, curriculum, what are the things you love to see? What are the things you also love to see in terms of structure, in terms of facilities? What are some of those things that you think, if you also have this and combined with the plans that you already have, will assist, will accelerate the growth of the game in Nigeria?
Facility is key. Without facilities, it will be difficult for the games to develop. But we're not going to sit and begin to cry over spilled milk. If the facilities are not there, whatever we get, we'll keep managing. But what we want to keep doing is to ensure that handball is being played all around the country. We want to ensure that adequate publicity is given to the game around the country. We want to ensure that we take the game back to schools so that games masters, everybody that is connected to school will understand that there is a game called handball. I don't want to call handball and people begin to think other sport. I really want to say handball and everybody knows about handball. So publicity is key, the facilities are key, the trainings are key. We're already working with the International Handball Federation to bring handball at schools. So they will come with technical competencies and they will come train our games masters and some of our ex-players, the rudiment of handball. So, and we believe that when the games masters understand handball, it will be easier to introduce it into school. So we are working assiduously with the International Handball Federation to ensure that the handball at school happens. I pray that COVID will not be a disruptor, and if it doesn't disrupt, then it surely will happen this year.
Yeah, let's talk about the global calendar and probably the one for the continent as well. With what we are already seeing, we don't want it to continue, but what we are already seeing, how much of a disruption do you think some of the early signs that we're already seeing now with the second wave, how much of a disruption to the calendar will happen this year as of now? Or is there any disruption now as we speak in terms of the global calendar and the continental calendar in the activities planned for handball?
Well, the World Cup is expected to come up in Egypt in January. That is going to be a big test for the International Handball Federation. Right now, no postponement. Everything is set to go on as normal. And I think it's going to be in a bubble format. Everybody, all the players and all the officials are going to be isolated. That is going to be the big test for the International Handball Federation. And if they succeed with that, which is a very big tournament, I think we are ready for the year. And if that succeeds, then I don't see any disruption, unless there is another full-scale lockdown the way it was in 2020. Otherwise, I won't see that disruption.
All right, let's work with the scenario that that COVID doesn't ravage the calendar. Let's Let's imagine that scenario. If everything goes on and 2021 turns out not to be like 2020. By the end of 2021, what are the things that you would love to see in terms of achievement, in terms of progress from the Federation?
If everything works well, we should have the International Handball Federation Challenge Trophy competition. In June, we should be having the Senior Female African Nations Cup. Those are the ones we know of for now. And one thing I want to see is that for the IHF Trophy, we qualify as a champion and also go and play at the intercontinental stage. At the Senior Women Championship, our plan is to really overhaul our team. We want to truly overhaul our female team, and it's going to consist mainly significantly of younger players. We want to be able to start afresh with our women national performance at the last All-African game was nothing to write home about. So, I mean, the board is looking at really starting with younger players. Let's begin to expose them. Let's begin to give them more exposure so that in few years' time, they might grow up and become something to reckon with in Africa. But I want to go to this Nations Cup and do well with the younger players we're going to take.
All right, since you talk about a player, this will be your parting shot on the show before we let you go. Let's talk about welfare. What can you say about the What can you say about the welfare of the players? Should they be expecting improved packages this year, or you feel, I mean, with the current situation, the Federation is doing the best that it can? Okay, I'm saying, since you talked about the players, in terms of welfare package, I mean, do you think should they be expecting an improved package this year, or you think that with the current situation, I mean, they're getting the best that they could get anywhere else? Okay. We seem to have lost the Handball Federation president right there, and we'll get back to him so that we can end this discussion. We need to go on a break. Right about now. Okay, I guess we'll have to wrap it up there. Hopefully, we get to talk to him some other time. I want to say thank you to the Handball Federation president, Samuel Luche, for taking out time to talk with us on the show tonight. We need to go on a break right about now, and when we return from that break, we'll talk about women's football in Nigeria and a whole lot more for you on Sports Tonight. All right, welcome back. And in case you're just joining us, you've missed quite a bit, but we'll do our best to compensate you with time we have left. We had a chat with the Handball Federation President of Nigeria, told us so many things. We already talked about the Olympics, worrying signals from the host country, Japan. Hopefully we'll talk more about that as we go on the show. But it's time to talk about women's football in Nigeria. And I say I have Bolu Omole here with me. Let's take a look at the results. Matches played yesterday and one game today. Bolu will tell us the stories behind the matches. But let's start with the results first. We get Bolu's thoughts and perspective on all of these things. Let's start with the results. Match day 4 in the Nigerian Women's Professional Football League. The game played today. Rivers Angels, Battle of Angels actually defeated Abia Angels 2-0. That was the game for today. Your thoughts on this one before we look at the ones played yesterday?
The second goal came late on in the game. I think for Rivers Angels, they are getting back to where we expect them to be. Now they are third on the log. They are arguably the best, if not one of the best, if not the best teams we have in women's football in Nigeria. And after I think they drew their first game, we were like, what's happening? Yeah. Suddenly they picked themselves up. Now they have 8 points in their first 4 games. I think they are getting back there. It means it's a wake-up call for both Bayelsa Queens and Robo Queens, because Rivers Angels will not wait for you. If you mess up or you drop points or whatever, they are chasing back. And I think this is the competition we want. They went on break and they said we're going to come back certain dates. And now they are back. The games are on. And we are just feeling for one of the things I like the most about them is details about their games come out almost immediately. Yeah. And not just the right result, no, graphical displays of their games. You see the result, you see the table, you see everything. This is what we want. Yeah. We shouldn't be speculating, who scored? Okay, I think someone scored, or I think it was scored certain. No, we want to have information directly from them.
All right. Nasarawa Amazons and Delta Queens, this will be a talking point for us today on the show because there are 1 or 2 issues, complaints here and there. So we'll try to talk about that. Bayelsa Queens, 2-1 victory over Confluence Queens. Sunshine Queens, goalless draw with Edo Queens. You have Royal Queens, slim 1-0 victory over Oshun Babes. Then you have some other results. Dream Stars Ladies. I mean, at least they're not throwing away points now. Defeated Igbo Rangers 3-2. FC Robo Queens is a hammering. Hayden defeated Pelican Stars 5-1. Bolu, your thoughts on all of this quickly?
Well, the interesting thing is the game yesterday, 15 goals, but 11 of those goals were from Lagos here at KK Stadium at the Legacy pitch in Lagos. Let me start with the Robo FC game. One key man, like they all say in the media football, we are all men, but the lady that stood out for them among them is Monday Gibbs. Remember, she scored a hat-trick, I think, match day 1 or 2. She's picked up from where she left off. She's played so well, like they say, local pal, and she's balling. All right. And this is what we expect, Charlie. Now, if she continues at this pace, obviously there will be look towards her direction. Okay, can she make the Falcons? If she's worth the underage, I think it's good we are starting like that. All right. The Royal Queens, good game for them against Mushroom Babes. We thought the game went goalless until the 88th minute winner. There's nothing as painful as conceding a goal towards the end. I saw a documentary of Iniesta, the World Cup goal, and people were like, okay, they thought it was going to penalty and you scored late. Late goals have a way of damping everyone. And sometimes you even get to concede another, especially if the team that conceded the goal are the ones making the play, everything running for. So good win for the Royal Queens. Then Nasarawa Amazons, okay, well, probably we'll talk about that later because of the controversy. Dreamstar Ladies, they finally got to win. And interestingly, there were 2 penalties in that game, but not just for the home side. Both teams got penalties. And Bayelsa Queens, 2-1 victory, top of the table, 12 points, win. They won all 4 games. Now that's a challenge. 12 points in 12 games, no loss, no draw, nothing, just picking up wins. Then the goalless draw against Edo Queens, well, I think I expected maybe a slim win for either of them, but the game ended goalless. So for the Nasarawa Amazon and Delta Queens, the first win for Nasarawa Amazon, but there are controversies or calls.
Yeah, since you talk about controversy, that's a good time to talk about the game. Joining us tonight is the coach of Delta Queens, David Oche, all the way from Asaba. All right, you had a sneak peek of something we're going to get to later, but that's for later, and that's just to show you what to expect. But this is where we're going now, and David Oche, the coach of the team Delta Queens. All right, Coach, it's good to have you on the show tonight. Let's get straight into it. Let's talk about the game that your side lost. I want to get your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, good evening to every one of us. Good evening to the viewers. That game, that's the first time I'm just seeing such kind of game in my coaching career, especially when it comes to the female football. It wasn't friendly. When we came into that the match, that nothing we can do that we escape from it because everything is at stake. They've lost 3 matches and the coach coaching them is a national coach, which is spoiled his reputation as a national team coach. But that's not the major issue. We got to the match, we started playing. They gave them an offside goal. We had penalties, the referee ignoring. Not one, not two. One in the first half, the second one in the other one in the second half. Even when my assistants they complain about the goal, we try as much as we can. But I just looked at it. The referee came to us and pleaded that we should just continue with the game, and we continued. Not to just a minute later, he walked back again and said he pleaded that we should not, that he knows what he's doing, that we should just remain calm and see that he knows what he's doing. You know,
all right.
Now what he's doing, I don't understand what he's doing.
So your complaint, because we're seeing the clips of the game on the screen, your complaint is biased officiating.
Yeah, biased officiating. I don't like talking about referee, but this one, he went away with it because.
Okay, and so you are alluding that that's the reason your team lost.
Yeah, that's the reason. Because I don't understand when a team, they came out, the referee called them out to go to the field to start the game. Before I get to me, the former governor, deputy governor, the chairman, they called them in and locked them in the office for some minutes before they came out and went there, then took the team back to the field, took the team straight to the field to start the game. When they started the antics, it was all there. Even when we try to make a move, when we have a breakthrough, we even try to, we find a way to stop the movement for us not to score. Then I looked at the handwriting and I said that this thing is a plan there. Not until that goal.
All right. All right, Coach. I want to thank you for your time on the show tonight. You've made your point. The viewers have seen the clip, but you know, there are always two sides of a story. Of course, we get the other side, and we'll see what we can do. Our job is always to present the facts and let the viewers make up their minds. They've been able to see the goal, and they've listened to what the coach has complained about. And we also have Bolu Amoni here, also saw the clips. You know, we're always very cautious of going into, you know, that's why I wanted the coach to stick to matters relating to the game. And that's why, thankfully, our producer was able to make us see the clip, and it's for the viewers to make up their minds. Well,
for the goal, it looked like offside, but it's look. You can't really judge from that particular angle again. You have to see from other angles, and it's one of the things about coverage. You have to, if possible, see all angles. Even with the VAR, you see one angle says yes, the other angle says no. But I remember I gave my saw at that gig one time, and one of the things I complained about was the assistant referee's position. There are some places you will stand, you can't get the offside call right or wrong. But I hope we will be able to see other pictures, other images from this. For the other allegations, we would wait to hear the reply or feedback from Nasarawa. At the same time, now it's gone beyond the team alone. Yeah, it's gone to the officials at the same time. The governor. So let's hear from the NWFL as well. We have to know the truth.
I'm almost tempted to say that. Look, it's like it's going out of our turf. Yeah, because I would have loved to talk about things on the football field.
Like you said about the 2 penalties that were obvious that were not given.
You complain to the ref, but you start mentioning them of officials. You're beginning to get out of our turf. All right, so that's it. All right, let's talk about something that is gathering storm, getting a lot of people excited, talking about football here in Lagos. Talking about Vandresa Football Club. They have concluded plans to relocate from Ikot Ekpele, Akwa Ibom State, to Lagos ahead of the Nigeria National League season, which is expected to begin on January 16. A lot of fans are excited to have another team that's very active on social media, in Lagos. So, according to Van Dresser, the move, which is in line with his strategic business plan to further position the club as a global football brand, is the result of research into the impact of clubs' customer engagement, communication, and media deployment strategy, which showed that more than 60% of his followers are based in Lagos. Van Dresser Football Club expresses their appreciation to the government of Akwa Ibom for the warm reception accorded to them during the club's one-year stay in the state. But now they've decided to move on, and they are coming to Lagos. To help us shed some light on what I just talked about is the communication director of the team, George Essien, known to a lot of his fans as Mighty George. George, it's good to have you join us on the show tonight.
Thank you very much, Yemi. Thank you very much. It's great to be here tonight.
All right, so just fill us in. Like I already said, a lot of people are already excited, but let's hear from the horse's mouth. What is really happening with Van Dresser? Are they truly coming to Lagos?
Yeah, of course. It's signed, sealed, delivered. We'll be kicking ball in Agege Stadium when the NNL officially resumes, which we're hoping it's sooner than later. Lagos called, Lagos cashed in on the reclassification of sports as a business. Lagos is home to lots of companies which will tally with our marketing drive. Lagos has, like you read, 60% of the followers that we have, which is right now climbing over 400,000. So Lagos called and we're here. That's why we're here. In fact, you're going to see me live in the studio very soon.
Okay, that will be fine. But what should we expect? Are you going to take Lagos by storm? If the way you guys came onto the scene is anything to go by, then we should expect more from you guys. But what are the things from a communications perspective? What are are we going to see more of engagement like we've seen before, or are there new things that we're also going to see as Van Dresser comes to Lagos?
Of course, in a year where there was no football, where I think maybe it was kind of a gift to us. We used that year to perfect a lot of strategies, engage more of the fans, launch our mobile apps on Android and iStore, iOS. We've used that as well to expand our website. In this period, we'd also tested the VFC TV, which we have been able to stream some of the games that we played, some of the test games that we played. We've really packaged and gotten ready for Lagos. Now it's time to play the football. We've missed football on the pitch. It's time to for people to come see in Lagos what we're made of. Unfortunately, thanks to COVID, we're not going to be having fans, probably in the early part of the season, but we're definitely making arrangements to welcome the fans, just as in Ikot Ekpene. What we do, our normal pre-match activities and all that. We're bringing it down to Lagos. Like I said, Lagos called and we had to answer because this is business. Sports is business.
All right.
And that's how Van Dresser FC has been taking it by storm, like you have alluded to. So it's the same kind of storm, renewed energy. If you see the headline in our statement, it's a new year, new home, new strategies. And we hope renewed love from the fans, especially in Lagos. We're not just going to be, of course, even if we're playing in Lagos, we're still going to be going around the country. So we're also telling our fans around the country that not to worry. Lagos don't have us completely. We still will be going around and showing this. And the motto has been on the pitch and off the pitch success as well, because if we can't marry the two, obviously, we might just become a laughing stock. But
all right.
So far, Nigeria has appreciated us.
Okay.
And we're looking forward to doing more.
All right. 2 quick questions before we let you go. Are you looking to recruit more players?
Yes, we've already done that. We did our online recruitment, the first team to even, successfully do that. We've done that, so you'll be seeing a new look Vander's AFC. But there's some players who played with us last season who will be returning as well. So we're still screening, obviously. The league hasn't started. The window is still very much open. But some of the players we got from our online screening that actually came from Fiverr after registration will be joining us, plus a few more that we might pick up.
Okay, let me throw this in. Let me throw this in quickly as you're answering that. Are you registered for the Nigerian National League as we speak, or the process is still ongoing?
We're registered. We're registered. We're always the first. We registered early last season. We have registered again for this season. The first step was to get a ground. So everything is in process at the moment.
All right.
We have a ground, a home ground. We're just in the process of relocation as well. And the NNL will expect that we give some of these details. So the registration is in process, and any moment from now, we should tidy that up. So by next week, we would be fully registered with the NNL as a Lagos team. But we already have our home ground, which is at the Township Stadium.
All right, finally, before we let you go, two of your players, I'm very sure this is not new to you, 2 of your players took to social media to complain about wages. I find it a bit strange, though, complain about wages and, some bringing it up that, look, they probably had some of these issues maybe last season, thereabout, I don't know. But I just want you to react before we let you go. When you see stuff like that, how does the club react to that news and the fact that those players went to social media?
Well, it's quite unfortunate that whatever they didn't understand in their contract, they had to go take to social media to, do that. Everybody has access to social media these days. But I can tell you that that's been sorted now. It was an internal issue. Players who, were asked to resume, but, were not certain about, the letters they were given. They're still players of our team, and we asked them to resume. And, that's where the confusion was. Don't forget that if from when we had the COVID-19 break, we had asked players to go home, but we're still paying them palliative salaries. All of them still get amounting to 100% of the salaries. All right, so we had asked players to return to camp later on, and the said gentleman had not returned. So
all right.
It's unfortunate they had to go to social media first before they were reminded of the contracts that they had. And I can assure you that everything's been sorted out right now.
All right.
Vander's as a professional club, always play by the books.
All right.
And obviously, even though we're still learning the ropes in 1 year, I can guarantee you, Yemi, that whatever action that we take, it's well studied, well grounded, and we definitely know what we're doing.
All right, Georges, I want to thank you for your time on the show tonight. My best to your club, and hopefully we'll get to do this some other time.
Okay. Yeah, we'll come to Lagos.
All right. That's George Essien, Communication Director of Vandresa Football Club. Bolu, you listen to him and all the issues. A lot of people are excited that, he said variety is the spice of life. And it's good that we also have another team. And so you go to the Soccer Temple, you can see MFM, you can see Vandresa as well.
Yeah, one of the things you mentioned was the social media. I think Vandresa used the social media space very well. Immediately they came out, the first thing they did was hit the social media. They created the huge one. People were like, who are these guys? Who are these guys? And I don't know about others, but I know the way Lagosians are always about social media. So that's why he even said about they have probably over 100,000 fans and 60% of them are from Lagos. Well, there's nothing wrong. The more the merrier, like they say. If you have 20 clubs in Lagos, so all well and good. Remember in London, they have about, I think 7 or 8 teams in the Premier League currently, and they have more than enough even in lower division. So, again, the more the merrier. If they do well to qualify for the NPFL, all well and good. If not, it means, even for now, at least, certainly there won't be a clash when the NNL starts with the MFM Adagi. So, they could play Sunday or whichever day, and the Van Rijsselk could pick any other date. And don't forget, Dream Stars also play at the same stadium. Then for the Robo Queens, they play at Legacy. But just that they have to find a way to make sure they maintain that pitch. Remember, that pitch is temporary. They were banned. I said just left, so they have to fix whatever is needed to be fixed.
Whatever the issues.
Maybe it's the government that will do it for them, or the clubs that use them will gather around. They just have to find it. But I think it will be fun to see them in Lagos.
All right, I can't agree less. I think it's going to be fun to see them. The more the merrier. That's what they say. Variety is the spice of life. We need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll be talking about Anthony Joshua, his plans, and of course, the eagerly anticipated EFL Cup. It's going to be in April, but we're already talking about it in January. Let's go on that break. We're back for more. Sports Tonight. All right, interesting discussion going on in the studio. Some we might not be able to let you in on, but the ones we can let you in on. Let's talk about the EFL Cup now, and what is going to be, the final is going to be between Manchester City and Jose Mourinho's Tottenham. But first, let's just, I mean, that's a confirmation for you. That's what the final is like. But yesterday, were you surprised? It was, even though the goal margin wasn't really huge, but I feel Manchester United were outplayed, out-taught, outclassed, schooled by Manchester City.
I think City are getting into the probably top gear step by step.
And a lot of teams should be afraid. They're gradually...
Yeah, they're moving. Achilles heel used to be their defense, but now it seems they've sorted it out. I'm shocked even Laporte is not part of the success in that defense. Now it looks more like John Stones.
A rejuvenated John Stones.
I saw a tweet from a journalist yesterday after the game was like, when the hype for Ruben Dias, he felt tired. They've started again until it took time to study him. He's not the best or greatest in code, but he's helping that defense shape up steady by steady. I tell people, the reason Walker gets to play steady is because of his pace. Cancelo is more technical and everything, more attacking, but you can't bench a player with the pace of Kyle Walker all the time. He just has to play. He helps the defense, especially when they're on the counter-attack. But for that game yesterday, it was all about Man City from the get-go. They could have scored more. Remember, 3 goals, 2 for City, 1 for United. That was chalked up due to offside. Kevin De Bruyne hitting the woodwork. Raheem Sterling taking the defense on his own. And the interesting thing, there was no top 9. Aguero is coming back step by step. At the start, it was Mahrez that stood there. Over time, we saw
Ferran Torres at some point.
So I think it's interesting how now Pep is making City more difficult to stop. Before, you know, this is how they will play. No matter who plays, this is their style. But now it looks like it's changing. Sometimes you see 2 holding midfielders. Sometimes both of them would stay. But especially if you have Gundogan, I don't expect him to stay there. Gundogan will sometimes get to number 10 position, score goals, move around. So they look more difficult to stop now. Fine, they still struggle against teams with counter-attack. That is why any day they're playing a team that have a fast forward, just expect our workers to play.
And every time Fernandinho plays, still it's like some steel has been added to that team. I don't know if it sounds like I'm waxing lyrical about Manchester City, but a lot of the clubs in England should be afraid because they're gradually getting into their stride.
And now the 4th semi-final loss for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at Manchester United. It looks like the semi-final. And the interesting thing about football, no matter how much you play all through the season, no matter how well you play, if you get to a certain position
kind of moments,
and drop, that's the difference. Like, it's one of the things people wreck City for. No matter what you do in the group stages, second round, if you don't get beyond the quarter, they still feel you've not done well. In Europe, one of the things I respect Pep for, he goes all out for every tournament. At least it's better to go for all and win some than to go for some and not win anything. Now he's going to face up with Jose Mourinho, has won 4 League Cup in England. He never lost any. And Pep Guardiola's team has won the last 3. It's definitely going to Manchester. And the fact that it's far, normally by February they are done with the FA Cup, but now they have to wait till April. We don't know who will be informed by then. There may be injuries, COVID-19 and everything. So we are really waiting.
Just to throw in something for Jose, he's told us how important the EFL Cup is to him.
Mourinho would rather finish 12th in the Premier League and win that thing. And he will probably take it to sports face that, yes, I want something for you. Mourinho is a winner.
Yeah.
You may not like his style of play. You may not like his coaching style. You may not like
his aggressiveness,
his aggression, his antics, everything. But he is a winner. You may love Pep. You may whatever for Pep. You may not like his arrogance. But he is a winner. So 2 winners coming up against each other. Definitely 2 different styles. One thing is sure, no matter who is in form, City will possess. Pep Guardiola, Mourinho's Spurs will defend. It now depends on whoever gets the goal. That's your style doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's who scores that matters.
All right. Our party shot on the show tonight has to be about what's happening in the heavyweight division. And trust me, we will be talking about this till the boxing organizations, the boxing bodies decides to tell us when Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua will fight. Give us a date. That's what we want. A lot of talk going on. But what's in the news today? Anthony Joshua says, look, I'm 31, 5 more years, I'll be done. And it's going to be 36 then. And I think that's a peak heavyweight. Yeah. When you get to that stage, it's always a good... Whether or not it's going to be a champion at that time, it's left to be seen. But a lot of talks going on. There's Usyk on one side. There's Deontay Wilder demanding a trilogy on one side. Usyk is WBO, mandatory challenger. We don't know how these things will go. But some people are saying it's going to happen this year.
Well, if I can make my predictions, or if I can select the fight I want, I would lovingly take Usyk AJ. Then rather the trilogy, so Fury can beat
just to separate the two.
For biology, I just don't want AJ to fight Fury, because I think if there's one boxer that can beat AJ and beat him well, I think it's Tyson Fury. Not because he is the greatest, but when you are looking for a complete package in the boxer, if you want to brawl, he can.
Strategies. Somebody who can use different styles,
his head movements, everything. He's just a perfect
somebody who can take a lot of punishment.
Yeah, thinking about him, you look at Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
He's good both on the field, on the court, and off the court.
Yes.
Fury, look at his last statement, I will knock AJ down in round 2.
Hey, there was a time he said, I'm going to beat him with one hand tied behind my back.
He said he will survive beyond round 2. And obviously, and he said one thing, it's about the man in form.
Yeah.
I check his last few fights, he's in form, unlike AJ and everything. But the good news for AJ is, even when if he has not lost any match before then and he loses that game, he could wreck him, but now he has lost before. Another loss will probably not be so bad, and especially if it's against someone like Tyson Fury. But this may just go all through the rest of the year, and we may not see their fight.
Let's say this quickly. I don't know how much time we have left. A lot of people said Otto Wallin, the German, that demystified Tyson Fury. I mean, he almost lost that fight with cuts on his face. Some said even the fight probably should have called off and given to his opponent. So I don't know why a lot of people feel Tyson Fury is just up there and the others are coming behind him.
The question is AJ's punch as heavy as that? Because one of the things that wrecked Fury in that match, he received the heavy punches. And Tyson Fury's head, I don't know, maybe he's made of rock. He can take as many punches as he can. And his movement is one of the things that separates him from others. His footwork is superb. He can move. He can run around the
walk out of danger with ease.
And his movement is superb. And he receives lots of punches. His body shot everywhere is perfect for him. Yes, not to say AJ is not good enough. I'm sure everyone that saw his fight with Andy Ruiz will know he worked on his footwork as well. The moment he was running around because he knew he could not brawl with Andy Ruiz. And if you want to brawl, Tyson Fury will give it to you. If you want to punch, he will give it to you. Anything is ready. It's just a complete boxer. But again, like the same boxing, especially what Wilder will tell you, it needs just 2 seconds.
Yeah.
One wrong footing can probably take you to the canvas, and that's the end of the game.
It's going to be the eraser. So you've told us what you'd love to see, but what do you think the boxing bodies will make happen?
It looks more like beforehand, it was definitely going to be AJ Wilder, because both of them were champions in their own way. Both of them waxing lyrical, getting to the board. Now it looks more like everyone wants to see Tyson Fury, AJ. The fact that they are both Brits, there are rumors of they'll probably take home over hundreds of millions of pounds each. So we all want that, but I think they've just found a way not to agree. Different, but one thing is certain, the game will be in the UK. That fight is definitely not going to America. They're both British and everything, but I think everyone wants to see that fight. No matter, even if they fight different boxers separately, everyone still wants them to come back.
The issues that truncated AJ Wilder, issues about fight
agreements, yeah, where to
all
fight,
the other issues,
all the
other issues about this, what I get from this, what I get from that. Do you think that's going to be an issue? Do you even think we're going to get a 50-50 split? Do you think both boxers will agree to a 50-50 split?
One of the easiest ways to get them to fight will be 50-50, because one, they are both British. The fight will likely happen in England.
Both hold a title.
Yeah, they both hold their belts. Yeah, fine, you can say AJ has 4, but it still does not matter. Fury will tell you I have. If they can agree to money, I think they'll find another reason again. You know, it's always from one thing to another. One may say, I want to fight here. Yeah. Even in the same state, and they start arguing here.
Let's go to Watford, let's go to Wembley.
But Eddie Hearn is really saying he wants that fight to happen. He said they've agreed at the point verbally. I hope we don't just want to talk. Agree on paper that if you defeat Usyk, if there's a trilogy with Wilder, if I win, we get, okay, that one is a win. I think Fury will defeat Wilder, they come up again. So I don't want the fight to happen, but if it will happen, yes, all well and good. We'll definitely see, enjoy it. Anyone who wins, it means the best man for the day. Fury may win, he may not be the best man overall, but for that moment it could be the one. So it should definitely be an interesting fight. I don't want to see it happen, but if it happens, oh well and good. It's for the love of the game. We'll definitely watch.
All right, finally, before we go, when do you think it will happen? First part of the year or later part of the year? A lot of people were already speculating April. At this rate, I don't think it's going to be April.
I don't think it's going to be April. I think it's probably going to happen in the second half of the year if the fight will be. Because don't forget, like you said, AJ is definitely having a mandatory fighter. Usyk is standing by. And all things being equal, Fury may get to face Wilder again. So if Fury AJ will happen, I think it's going to be in the second half of the year.
All right, so I think that's a good place to leave it. Bolu has showed you where he stands, has showed you his cards, and we'll see what the boxing bodies do with regards to that fight. But of course, we can agree that the boxing world wants to see that bout. Bolu Omodi, I want to thank you for your time on the show. It's always a pleasure having you with me.
Good to be here again.
All right. Hopefully we'll do this next week.
Hopefully.
Some other time. I like that smile. All right, so that's it. That's the show today. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your day. We'll be back here again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.